Hello, VEDS! It has been a wild week. Obviously, I've been traveling and I've had stuff to deal with outside of VEDS. That's calmed down. I'm back on my normal schedule. But even aside from that, like my Sirens video took 24 hours to upload. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I have terrible Wi-Fi here. But it took so long to upload. I literally started it on one day and it went 24 hours. In fact, it's not done yet, so it might go more than 24 hours. I'm not here to talk about that. Today, I'm here to talk about Jesse's challenge, to talk about something that people might not expect about you. And this was a little difficult for me because maybe I'm just not self-aware enough, or maybe I'm just a very predictable person, but it took me a minute to actually come up with something, and I eventually did, and that is that I am a hockey fan. So I think if you got to know me at first, you wouldn't really peg me as a sports fan, because I'm not. I don't really like sports that much. Basketball is fun if you're at the place where they're playing it. The Olympics are, of course, cool because you don't get to see those sports often, especially beach volleyball. If I was to watch an Olympic sport outside of its, like, every 4 years, it would be beach volleyball. But I don't. But no, for the most part, sports just aren't my thing. For a long time, I pretended like they were, but they weren't. And I think that's part of the reason I like hockey, is that I understand why people like sports, and I like liking sports, but I don't like many sports. So when I found hockey, I feel like I really attached to that. And when I say found hockey, that's not actually like one day I just discovered it. I grew up going to hockey games. My home team, the Nashville Predators, of which I have a shrine to back here, you can just see the flag, but there's actually a lot more stuff over there. You may be able to see the bobbleheads. I grew up going to those games, and it's a really fun environment and atmosphere at those games, and a really fun community. But as a kid, I think that's what I attached to, was the atmosphere and the wildness and the chants and the music, right? It wasn't the actual sport. But as I grew up, I started to appreciate the sport more and more. And I think part of that is because it's fast-paced, but also it's simple. Like, sure, I don't know what offsides means because no one does. And if you ask me what icing is, I would kind of like give you a half-hearted attempt, but I could actually explain it. So I don't get all the rules, but for the most part, I think you can follow a hockey game very easily. And that, tied with the fast-paced nature, makes it a really fun sport to watch and to get into. It's also not shoved down your throat. It's easy to ignore so you don't get over-inundated with it. And I think that's another reason people might not peg me as a hockey fan, because I'm from the South, which isn't usually considered a place where you play hockey, right? Like, you think hockey, you think of like Minnesota or Canada. But so that kind of uniqueness, more relative obscurity, I do think hockey is growing. There was just a team added to Las Vegas, which was really good, even though they took one of my favorite players from Nashville in the expansion draft. I am still bitter. I think it is a growing sport, but I do think the fact that, unlike football, it's not like such a constant presence in culture. It's a little easier to like. So yeah, I've really gotten into hockey over the past couple of years. It turned from just kind of this blind loyalty of one team and enjoying the atmosphere around the games to an actual appreciation of the sport. So yeah, something people might not expect about me is that I'm a hockey fan. So challenge complete. I plan on doing James's 5-minute teaching challenge tomorrow, and then some videos coming out through the week will, they'll pop out. I have one about the underworld. I have one about Oedipus. I have one about Peter Pan, which should be interesting, and I'm going to try to get to Jesse's creation myth, although that might have to be pushed till next weekend. I might end on that one. I was planning to end on Ragnarok, but I might end on the creation myth. I don't know yet, but we will see about that. I can't wait to see what videos you guys make. As VEDS kind of starts to wrap up, it has been an awesome year, and I'll do a proper wrap-up video near the end of the month, but I've really enjoyed it. It's been so much fun. So without further ado, I will see you guys tomorrow. And go Preds. Most importantly, go Preds.